And we are back. Welcome to the Europa League and Europa Conference League predictions video for the semi-final first legs. After a week where I was actually able to accurately predict the result for the Real Madrid-Man City game and then the correct score for the AC Milan-Inter Milan game last night. So I'm on a good bit of form. If you think I've done well yourselves, then please let me know by dropping a like on this video. And if you want to see more predictions from me, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We'll be doing Premier League predictions as always tomorrow morning. Then we're going to do our first playoff video of the season on Saturday. The Women's FA Cup final on Sunday. Playoff second legs on Monday. And then we're going to do Champions League and Europa League all over again Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday next week. So we've got daily predictions coming up for you on this channel. Please make sure you are subscribed and ringing the bell so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos. Now let's get into tonight's games. We've got four massive semi-final ties in both the Europa League and Europa Conference League. And let's see which way I think they're going to go. And rather bizarrely, they've put all four games on at the same time. Over the course of the Thursday nights, they've always done a round of early games followed by a round of evening games. And I don't quite understand why they haven't split these up to maybe having the Europa Conference at 5:45 and then the Europa League at 8 o'clock. But for whatever reason, all four games this evening are 8 o'clock. So let's just start with the Europa League and we'll start with Juventus and Sevilla, a game which is not as easy to predict as you would think, because based on current form, you would easily say that Juventus take this game probably 2 or 3-0. But as I know myself as a Manchester United fan, and as we all know from watching the Europa League over the last few years, you just can't rule Sevilla out in this competition. So it makes it a little bit harder to call. I'm still going to give Juventus the win on the night. However, I'm going to give Sevilla a chance at progressing to the next round. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Juventus, setting up what would be a very intriguing second leg going back to Seville. On to the other game in the Europa League, and it's another Italian club, this time Roma taking on Bayer Leverkusen. Now, Jose Mourinho is looking for that history-making run where they win the Europa Conference to get into the Europa League, then they win the Europa League to get into the Champions League, and then who knows what's going to happen next season. They're playing well, but their last few games in Serie A haven't been particularly good. Meanwhile, Bayer Leverkusen are on such a good run under Xabi Alonso to the extent that the likes of Chelsea and Tottenham, those teams looking for new managers, have now started including Xabi Alonso on their shortlist. So, a tough one to call. I can't really split them right now. I think Roma are very good defensively, but haven't been the best offensively. Meanwhile, Bayer Leverkusen are very good offensively, but not at their most strong form defensively. So makes this a really hard game to call. I can't split them right now, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw for tonight. We'll see what happens in the game, and then that'll make me have a more informative decision going into the second leg next week. On to the Europa Conference League then, and we have yet another Italian club. 5 Italian teams across the 6 semi-finals, which is a hell of an achievement for Italy and Serie A this season. In Fiorentina, they are taking on Basel, a side which I didn't predict to get through the last round, and they surprised me and were able to get the job done. I think it's a very tough task for them tonight going to Florence. They are having a very good run of form, Fiorentina. Not doing as amazing as you'd think in Serie A, but their Europa Conference form has been the best of near enough anyone other than a team we'll talk about in a moment. So, for me, this is a game that Fiorentina win very comfortably. I'm going to go for 3-0 to them, and we'll see what happens. But as I said in the last round, I just don't see Basel having enough to beat a team with the quality of Fiorentina. The other side that I was talking about in terms of Europa Conference form is, of course, West Ham United, who have won all but one game across the entire season in the Europa Conference, that being their first leg of the quarter-final. This now, of course, is their first semi-final leg. They are taking on the Dutch side AZ Alkmaar, a side that has done very well in the Eredivisie this season and clearly has also done well in the Europa Conference League to make it to the semi-final stage. I don't think this is an easy game for West Ham, but West Ham have hit their stride. Now, yes, they did concede 4 goals to Crystal Palace this time last week, but they turned that round with a good performance against, yet again, Manchester United at the weekend. And their home form has been very, very good. They're scoring goals on a more regular basis at the moment. And I think With that said, they should have enough to get the job done against AZ Alkmaar tonight. I'm going to go for 3-1 to West Ham, which should see them, I think, have enough to take back to Holland next week and secure the victory. I'm backing West Ham just from an emotional thing. I would love to see West Ham win the Europa Conference. I think it's a tournament that, as I say, I'd just like to see them win it. I don't really have a better way of describing it. So I'm backing West Ham to do that, and hopefully that will be enough to get them into the final. That is going to be it for today. It is another predictions video in the bag. Let me know down in the comments, as always, your thoughts about tonight's games, your thoughts about the Champions League games that we had over the last couple of days. I think they were still lacking some drama at times, but let me know your predictions for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I will be back tomorrow morning with the usual Premier League predictions.